If you live in Dubai and you still have some business in Europe like I do, that means you're going to have to go back and forth quite a lot. You might wonder, what does that feel like? What's it have to take these overnight flights, which I like to take because it's quite convenient. So in today's video, I'm going to take you behind the scenes of what's it like to travel from Dubai, where I'm now, to Zurich, where I'm going to be tomorrow morning. So I live actually quite close to the airport, which is very convenient. It's only 15 minutes for me to go from my flat to the airport, and that means that I can basically leave 2 hours before my scheduled departure time. The check-in process here in Dubai Airport is reasonably straightforward, although the immigration line can be a little bit of a hassle sometimes, but there is actually a service called Marhaba, which I like to book, and that just cuts straight through the immigration line and means you get a fast track even if you're not in any of the status programs. Now, I happen to be a Lufthansa senator, and with that I have some amenities that are offered by the airline. There is a Lufthansa lounge here in Dubai, and it's a tiny lounge, but it still offers some comfort, and it allows me to just get myself together and prepare for the flight, and I'll take you through my routine in a minute. Really, one of the advantages of living in Dubai is that it is conveniently located in terms of the time zones, because overnight you can just fly back to Europe, and that means that you don't lose any time if you can allocate as much time as you can to sleeping on the plane. That is an art in itself, so comment below if you can actually sleep on the flight, or if you're one of those people who can't sleep on flights. My flight tonight is at 2 a.m. in the morning, so I had to stay up a little bit later than my usual bedtime to make this flight, but that means that by staying up a little bit later, and I'm gonna sleep through the entire flight, hopefully, fingers crossed, that gets me into Zurich at 6:15 a.m. local time. That means that I could work the entire day today, and I can work the entire day tomorrow without losing any productive time, because I'm going to spend the entire flight just sleeping and making my way to Switzerland. So I figured out throughout the course of me traveling back and forth quite regularly that I have a very strict routine. So this routine is, first of all, the eating strategy. I try to eat a bit later than my usual meal, because already trying to adapt to the time zone of Europe. And then I try to avoid any later eating. So even though there's plenty of food in the lounge and there's plenty of food potentially on board, I never actually touch any of that, because I now am telling my body that it's soon going to be time to go to sleep. Also, I already want to get sleepy. Oh, that's actually my boarding call right now, so I'm going to have to pick this up at a later point. So in addition to my eating strategy, I also have a hydration strategy. So normally on a normal day, I would already stop drinking in the afternoon so that I don't have to go to the bathroom in the evening. But on a day where I have a flight like this, I like to keep hydrating throughout the evening, and that way I'm already hydrated for the flight. It's nothing worse than going onto a flight dehydrated, because you lose a lot of water up in the air. So also, I don't drink, so that is a big thing that I would recommend anyone. So even if I did drink alcohol, I would stop drinking and not drink on a day where I would fly. Now, hydration is obviously key, and staying away from alcohol is also quite important, but everyone is different in this regard. So I'll leave it up to you if you want to have a glass of wine to sort of ease your scare of flying. But the main point with flying overnight is that you want to maximize your time sleeping. So what I always say is that you don't get a glass of water, you don't get a meal, you don't get anything until some time into the flight. So you have to do everything before or bring it with you, because you're not going to get any of these services, and you want to maximize from the moment that they shut the doors. You want to maximize the time that you have, because that's valuable time for a short flight like this to sleep and get the rest, because otherwise you already deprive yourself of precious minutes that you could spend winding down, getting into sleepy mode, putting together all the gadgets, and then just signing off for the night. Now, to my sleeping routine, I like to get into wind down mode early. as early as possible. But tonight I'm filming this video, so it's going to be difficult for me to like wind down and get into sleepy mode. Also, I'm not wearing my sunglasses tonight. Sometimes I like to wear sunglasses just to block the blue light and already tell my brain that it's going to be soon time to go to sleep. So this is my routine that I do before the flight. First thing is the sleep mask. Put this on like this, just to be ready. And then I can pop it on during the flight quickly. And secondly, put on the AirPods, and then I listen to some calming music just to get me into a sleepy mode. And then this is the latest trick that I've put into my set of routines. I put on top the AirPods. I put the AirPod Max on top, so this means that now I'm double insulated against the noise. And also these AirPods, they only last for around about 4 hours, and I used to wake up from them going out of battery and sound coming in, but now with these ones they have a much longer battery life, so that's more convenient. Also, in terms of these accessoires that I have here, I usually leave the pillow in the seat here, so that gives me a little bit more support. And then what is very important is my blanket. Usually I get a seat that has a lot of leg room, so I book the seat in advance, and that means that often it's next to an emergency door. So when it's next to an emergency door, then it can get quite cold, especially on the seat. So a blanket, especially around the feet, and then put the seatbelt over the blanket, because otherwise the flight attendants don't know that you're wearing the seatbelt and might wake you up. So that's my routine to get ready for the flight. And now we're about to take off. I'm going to get into sleepy mode and try to get as much sleep as I can. We'll see each other in Zurich. All right, good morning from Zurich. This was a good flight. I was able to sleep quite a bit. I'm going to show you my Whoop score here, where you can see the evidence that I actually slept pretty okay. Yellow recovery is quite normal for me, so happy days. And now we're in Zurich without losing any time. It's now 6:30 in the morning and we have a full day ahead. So excited about the day, and now just waiting for the bag that I checked. So one thing that I'm constantly debating with myself is whether I should fly economy as I do, or if I should at some point upgrade to business class on these longer flights, like over 6 hours where you want to sleep. That could potentially make sense, but I think so far I'm still too stingy to actually dish out the triple price for the business class ticket. And so far I've also been okay sleeping in the economy seat. I'm lucky enough through my senator status to get access to the seat map quite a long time before the flight, so I can go in after booking my flight and select the seat that I want, and I choose the front row seat that's either in at the emergency exit or at the very front just behind the premium economy, and that way I get a lot of leg room and I can stretch my legs, and that's the most important thing for me, as I'm 190 centimeters. So as long as I can stretch my legs, I'm not too worried about the back folding. I think also I'm at a stage in my life where I'm already traveling quite a lot. It's already quite expensive that I'm going back and forth this much, and saving costs where this is such an obvious cost save. I think this makes a lot of sense, and that's why I do it, because I think there will be plenty of time later on in my life where I can fly business class and fly first class, hopefully. So I think it's important not to get ahead of myself, and that's why for now I keep flying economy. And with my status, I have a lot of perks at the airport. At least I can just go to the lounges. I have my priority boarding, which I'm very thankful for. And also here in Zurich, it's actually very nice. There's this welcome lounge that you can go in as someone who came in from an overnight flight. They're only
only open in the mornings. They're right after you exit the baggage claim area, and then there you can just take a beat and unwind, get all your things together. You could shower. I don't usually shower there because I shower later at wherever I'm staying, but there's a nice breakfast there. I will have and that just completes my airport experience. Finally, I'm at the arrival lounge, just having breakfast right now, and I'm going to sign off with a few more comments about commuting between Dubai and Europe. I think this would be a lot more difficult if I didn't have the perks that I have as a Lufthansa senator, because this just gives you a lot of comfort at the airport, but also in terms of the booking and boarding process. But this is also a reason why I continue to fly Swiss or Lufthansa, because with Emirates, it would mean that I need to fly a lot with them and fly a lot only with them. So I don't think that makes sense yet, especially because I'm still flying within Europe as well. So I think the Star Alliance is still the best alliance to be a part of, best airline group to be a part of. And I think in the future, if I would fly more towards Asia and more from Dubai than to other places and only have Dubai as my hub, I think that could make more sense. But so far, I think it's best to stick with the Star Alliance group, even though they are constantly putting down the value of their system, making it more difficult to reach the status. So I'm still curious if I can keep my status because of all the roadblocks they are putting in. But hey, as long as it works, I think I like to take benefit from the advantages. Now here in Switzerland, I have full days of meetings ahead, so I'm going to sign off here. If you want to see what I do here in Switzerland, I have this other video that I did recently. I'm going to link you to that. Watch that next, and thanks for watching. See you next time.